People, deluded, I'm back again. Obviously, Arsenal have just defeated Newcastle 2-0. I'm gassed, people. I can't lie. You lot barely see me smile, but I'm a skin teeth today, but I'm excited. The league's not done. Conclusions can't be drawn. We've got to win all these games or do well in these games, but we've taken advantage of other teams dropping points because more teams will drop points, and all you can do is fight as long as it's still possible. And if we get top four, it's been nothing short of a miracle. Unai Emery deserves all the praise together with the players as well. But in regards to the player ratings, let's crack on, people, man. I give Leno an 8. He had nothing to do, man, really. I was impressed again with his passing at times. I felt at times his passing actually put a bit of pressure on us, and maybe a better side presents some issues. But an 8. Socrates gets a 7. Nice to see. Forgive me if I'm wrong. He didn't get yellow carded because he could have been suspended. Felt he was good today, especially with the communication as well. I'm gonna give Mustafi a 7 as well, people. Man, I give Socrates a 7. I'm gonna give Mustafi a 7. I was on route in the first half to give him a 6, and I'm gonna give him an extra bonus point for the second half because I actually feel he was better in the second half. The only bad thing he did was that terrible cross, but he did well to intercept that, and I think he did a couple of good interceptions. Tell a lie, in the second half early on, when Maitland-Niles kind of got that little kick, it was a result of an underhit pass, and there was a couple of times where opportunities were presented. Obviously, with Mustafi, he's a bit nervous defensive passes and stuff, of course, but I feel Mustafi was alright today, like everybody, and there's no point. We know he's not good enough to be at this club, but there's no point. It's irrelevant to this today. He was decent today, in my opinion. So Mustafi gets a 7. I'll give Monreal an 8 because, like the other two, I feel he was good in that back three. I feel Emery got his tactics spot on in that regards, and especially with the Rondon factor, people. You know, Rondon's a physical handful. Socrates and Mustafi, each of them was getting tight. Then obviously when Rondon's done fighting the other, he's got to deal with the other. Or if both get tight to him, Monreal was sweeping stuff up, and I feel Monreal was decent today, man. So I'll give him an 8. Maitland-Niles gets a 7. I feel he was good today. A couple of times his passes were a bit sloppy, but I feel Maitland-Niles was decent today. The work rate was there, the intent, fighting for every challenge, winning tackles back, and most importantly, repaying the confidence Unai Emery is having to play him in these big games and play him consistently. We know he speaks about being a winger. We know he can play central midfield. We know he has really no intentions of being a long-term fullback, but it's something he might end up as. And to be honest, away from all that long-term stuff, it's an opportunity to get games. And any game for a young player that brings you closer to what I like to call 100 career appearances, where you're actually a professional footballer, is good, man. And he's repaying it, and he's being consistent, he's being competent, and he's playing with sauce. So Maitland-Niles gets a 7. Kohler gets a 9 for me, people. I feel he was a boss today, man. Kohler's a tank. As you see, game in, game out, I feel Kohler was amazing. Probably isn't deserving of an 8, but I'm going to be a bit lenient and give him a 9. I feel Kohler, when I was watching the game and watching the boys and watching them, I was just thinking Kohler's just him, Ozil, Ramsey for me in particular, Lacazette to hail him up as well and hail up everyone. But I just feel they were the ones, man. Every time they got the ball, I felt something positive was going to happen. Kohler obviously worked his socks off, and I feel he done well defensively because they were trying to target that little gap in behind as a result of the system we play, in my opinion. So Kohler gets a 9. Guendouzi gets a 7. I think he regained himself at a period after the first 20. I think he was, I wouldn't say he was poor, but he was a bit sloppy with some of the passes, holding on to the ball a bit too long. The usual shortcomings of Guendouzi, but I feel he was quality today. He was obviously involved in the first. Defensively, he did all right. You know, he plays with commitment and he tries his best and things like that. And I feel he was decent today, so he gets a 7. Gonna give Ozil and Aaron Ramsey 10s respectively, people. So a 10 for Aaron Ramsey and a 10 for Mesut Ozil. I feel obviously both of them got subbed. Fingers crossed Ramsey's nothing serious with his injury. We know he had issues while he was away for Wales. So maybe starting him was a big ask for him physically to play a significant part. But playing in that deeper role, bossed it, man. He obviously got his goal. I was actually thinking, ironically, could someone come on at some point and as a pivot and free up Ramsey? Because I was thinking we need his runs. We're gonna miss Aaron Ramsey badly, man. And I feel it was a great performance from him in that deeper role. People say he can't do that role. I know what the opposition were playing and their game plan, and us being at home, we're going to be on top of them, and we probably could have even played someone else centre-half for the same effect. But I feel he was quality today. The way he was captaining, telling people to calm down, not flying into tackles, obviously, but doing the less glamorous parts of the game. A 10, also everything ran through him, man. He turned on the show today, man. Wenger must have been somewhere smiling at that stadium, watching the players if he was there, man. But the passes, the precision on his pass, involved in the first, shows what he can bring to the side. And it's nice to see that, at least what we're told as fans, his little disagreement with Unai Emery is coming to an end, or if the club and him are going to part ways in the summer, at least for now he's playing with some competency, some consistency. Ultimately looks like he's enjoying his football and turning it on for us, man, because he's a stylish footballer. Both of them ran the show, man, in my opinion, man. And a big central part for our recent form, on top of everyone pulling it out and Unai Emery's tactics, for me, is reinstating the likes of them two and obviously getting the best out of Mkhitaryan and Iwobi to a degree, and these sort of man. Lacazette gets a 9 for me. Obviously, I know he scored. Do you know what? I'm going to give him a 10 as well, because he scored and technically was involved in the first and he ran his socks off. I'm going to give him a 10, man. I felt he deserved... Do you know, man... Laka, I'm sorry, I always give you a 10, but I'm going to give you a 9. That's what I stuck with. I'm going to stick with a 9. He obviously scored, involved in the first, worked his socks off. Link-up play was superb. Yeah, man, on another day, I'll probably give him a 10, but I stuck with a 9, and I'm always lenient towards more attacking players when I do this sort of thing. And I don't really feel giving Kohler I don't feel Kohler is a 10. A 10's a tough one for me to give, but I feel them two deserved one. And while I think both of them were good, them two were the star men for me. So a 9 for Laka. I'll give Iwobi a 7, probably a 6, but I'll be a bit lenient because we won in that. He wasn't poor. It was just one of them games, man. The application was there. He was involved in the first. He ran his socks off, of course. That's all I can ask for as a fan. But it just weren't... Yeah, man, it's just one of them days where I wouldn't say it was quiet, but it just weren't... You didn't really do anything of significance. So there's that. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not missing anyone else out. So shout out to Aubameyang for obviously grabbing the assist. And then they didn't really come on and get enough time to affect things. But that's not really a skill set. Mkhitaryan had some nice little touches and, in fact, even set up an opportunity in the dying numbers of the game where he could have got an assist. But realistically, none of them were on the field long enough to really give them a significant rating. But in regards to our 2-0 victory against Newcastle, people, deluded, that's my player rating. So on that note, I'm out. Bang.